What's going on, Conscious Crew? It's your favorite breakdown commentator, CTV. Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. It is a wonderful, beautiful Monday, and I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Hope you guys are going to have a wonderful work week, and that you and your family pooch on through real safe and sound, child. We are here to get into the headline. You guys know we got to maintain that continuity. So before we get into the things, guys, give me a like on the video. YouTube has been playing real bad on our head top when it comes to notifications. Every single show, Conscious Crew members are telling us, I'm not getting notified, I'm not getting notified, I'm not getting notified, I'm not getting notified, I'm not getting notified. And unfortunately, there's not really anything I can really do about that. So we have to counterbalance that by running up the likes, etc. So please, if you have 10 seconds of time, please make sure that you guys are thumbing up the video, whether you are a Bush baby, part of the Replay Gang, or whether you're active with me in real time in the Sky Reeds, run me a like. If you also love all of the work that the King does over here on the platform, you can also donate to the platform, $Consciouztv on Cash App and or paypal.me/ConsciouzTV, and that's conscious spelled with the Z on the end, just like it is here on the platform. Also, you can sign up to Patreon. The link is in the description box below, as well as follow me on Instagram as well at Consciouztv, spelled the same way. Also, make sure that you have your notification bell set to all so that you never miss a day or hour when the King is in fact Kangin. And shout out to all the new subbies we got over the last 48 hours. Okay, we are at an old nasty piece of 53.6 and counting, headed toward 54K and up. So shout out to the Conscious Crew. Shout out to all of the new subbies. We don't miss a beat. Love you long time. And with no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let me shout out to my donors. Okay, shout out to my baby father Kwame for the nasty piece of child support check. Good morning and grand rising, baby father Kwame. Also, shout out to my baby mother Cheryl, my baby mother Ebom, and my baby mother Miss Sam, as well as my roomers and T for the old nasty piece of child support check. Thank you guys so much. And once again, all donation information is in the description box below, girl. Y'all know StreamYard costs $100 a month, child. We got a $400 Pacer bill. Okay, we done raised 200 plus of that. Okay, so you guys know you can definitely slap some love on the Cash App and the PayPal in the description box below. Let me go ahead and also speak to the Conscious Crew in the building. And once again, you guys run up those likes. What's going on? It's got to be Destiny. Hey, my love. What's going on, Sin? Hey, Queen B More. Hey, baby mother. What's going on, B Angie? Hey, Aquarius Moon on period. What's going on? Side West. Hey, Cheryl. Thank you so much, baby. Hey, Rashonda. What's going on, Silent Sister? Hey, Miss Jigga05. Hey, Boo. Happy Monday. Hey, Hemi. What's going on, Deborah? Hi, Kwame. What's going on? Hey, y'all. All right, you guys. So this is not going to be a long live. I just wanted to come and give you guys an update. You guys know last week was crazy. Okay, if you've been living under a rock, you guys would know that the Archbishop Bernard Jordan sat down with the St. James Show and had a in-depth discussion about his breakdown with ex-mentee and blogger, the Larry Reid Live. Okay, now you guys know that Larry Reid Live had came forward and spoke about the breakdown, etc. Considering that their relationship was public, he felt the need to inform the people that there was no longer an association and that the arch was no longer his mentor. Well, months afterwards, the bishop finally spoke to that, which is really interesting because, you know, the big question for some was, why now? You know, Bishop typically, for one, doesn't really address anything publicly, no matter how damaging it may be to his brand or his business. So not seeing someone who doesn't typically respond to rumors or to narratives or to exposés or, you know, any of those things, actually coming forward and talking about his relationship to Dr. Lee was very fascinating. Also, as we spoke about in our review, who the Archbishop sat down with was even more interesting and obviously very intentional because, you know, the bishop knows how Larry Reid feels about the St. James programming. Okay, so that was fascinating. And just when you thought, maybe Bishop isn't being petty and this is all possibly coincidental, right? Like, you know, he just happened to, you know, him and St. James was already on good terms, and, you know, maybe it's just a coincidence that the arch sat down with the St. James show, but then, let me see here. Oh, did he delete it? Oh, he did not. Okay. This is when you thought it wasn't on a petty retaliatory level. Bishop posted a particular segment from his interview with the St. James Show to his Instagram page. And that was this clip here. Check this out.
It's like this. Have you ever hit your knee? Have you ever hit that corner toe on the side of the bed in the middle of the night? And every time you walk past that bed, even 5 years later, what do your toes do? They crump up. They crunch up. Right? Yeah. So every time I hear Larry Reid's name, I crunch up.
Wow. So the bishop intentionally crafted, carved, and edited, zoomed in on himself, and posted this particular talking point to his social media that every time he hears his ex-mentee's name, he clenches up almost like a knee-jerk reaction or a implied trauma response. So that confirmed for me definitely that therapy that the Archbishop is in is definitely not complete. He's still pending healing journey because this was definitely petty down boots for sure, okay? The bishop also captioned this clip that he posted to his Instagram this: in the journey of faith, we often seek spaces that nurture our souls. I'm truly grateful for just St. James, a sanctuary where meaningful conversations flourish and hearts are open. Okay, those are the things that, you know, I always hear about my space over here. Okay, so shout out to St. James for trying to compete where he possibly may or may not can compare. Shout out to the St. James Show. It reminds us of the importance of community and the grace we find in sharing our stories. Have you experienced a moment of connection in your faith journey? Now, I'm going to be honest, Bishop. This beautiful, poetic New Testament ass caption definitely is a stark contrast to this shady ass clip, baby. Okay, it's like when the music video don't match the song. That's what it's giving over here, Greer. All right. So you guys know that a lot of conversation got started. What's going on, Pam? They ask Squire, ain't you got somebody to be defending and somebody to be keeping out of jail? What you doing free and nosy on a Monday at 10:30 a.m.? What's going on, Pam Esquire? The law intellect. You guys make sure to subscribe to my boo, Pam, honey. She give y'all all of the legal breakdown, child. Not the therapy is not complete, baby. The story of you. What's going on, Todd? Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. I just looked at my live stream, y'all. Hey, y'all. So, why does the bishop need therapy? Well, the bishop said in his interview that, you know, he took the breakdown with Larry really, really, really bad to heart. You know, that he, you know, lost someone very dear to him. You know, they blended their families, and, you know, Larry referred to Bishop in an endearing way as a spiritual father. So, you know, on some emotional level, the bishop is saying that, you know, he felt like he experienced, you know, some type of a loss with a loved one of someone he considered family, and he had to really unpack that thing. Or hell, maybe the archbishop was mad as hell and had to go to therapy to keep from wrapping his damn big ass hands around Larry Reid's neck, you know, because he definitely on petty time, child. You know, he also said there's a few other reasons aside from Dr. Reid that he's in therapy. And let me tell you something about this. There was an interesting thought that's been floating around of if the archbishop is gearing up for a potential lawsuit against Larry. You know, people were kind of, they couldn't unsee, like, you ain't said nothing initially. Now you in therapy. There's been pain and suffering and trauma. Now, since Archbishop know that Larry Reid packing in the pockets, girl, is he gearing up to go for another $3 million out of Dr. Reid's wallet? You know, people just couldn't unsee it, baby. People was like, it's giving, you know, lawsuit time, since he know that Larry got it. Okay, so I don't know what's going on, but, you know, the archbishop said he needed the therapy, child. All right, so that was that. So after Archbishop sat down, gave us an insight into some of his feelings and emotions, and, you know, kind of where he is now and where he was then, and spoke to some of the things that Larry had spoke to in his previous 2-hour long dissertation. Larry decided to also make a public statement in response to the bishop. All right, now shout out to you guys. Shout out to the 300 plus folk in the building. You guys run those likes up. Cree says, sue for what? Emotional distress? That's hard to prove. Well, not when you got a psychologist. It's hard to prove when you ain't in counseling. Once you put that counseling on there, okay, all you got to do is bring your therapist to the stand and say, yes, my client has experienced trauma, and my client has, you know, experienced PTSD and etc. That's how Cardi B was able to recoup on her pain and suffering. TD Jakes is in a lawsuit with Dwayne Youngblood, and, you know, he had, you know, his diabetic heart had caused him to slip and slide off the damn little teeny tiny skinty stool that he was sitting on the Sunday prior to the publishing of his lawsuit, girl, and all that goes there. And you know TD Jakes gonna bring in the therapist as well. Matter of fact, TD Jakes said in his complaint, baby, not only, baby, that he had to be zoomed from the ER down there to the therapist's office, child, okay? So he making it clear, I got trauma. I'm shaking and I'm shivering. I got the shivers from this relationship, baby. Baby, I'm shaking. I'm shaking. I'm crying involuntarily. I'm having breakdown. Okay, why did the bishop want to emphasize all of that? Now, the other alternative to the is Bishop gearing up to sue Larry Reid for whatever reason is that the bishop just might have wanted to really illustrate how damaging he wants Larry Reid to be perceived and cause some indirect backlash. Okay, so it either was a way to throw a soft missile Larry Reid way, to do the emotional grift, like, oh, woe is poor Archbishop, the big bad Larry Reid. How could he do this to the sweet, deep voice, Old Testament, adorable, bald-head man? The audacity of the Dr. Reid. Okay, but time will tell if it's a lawsuit or not. All right. So Dr. Reid posted to his IG 10 hours ago this caption here with a voice note as well. What's going on, Auntie Trish? Okay, so Dr. Reid posted this to IG. He said, an amazing 5-year mentor-mentee relationship. Grateful for what he broke off my thinking surrounding money. It was an honor to introduce him to my social media following here and abroad and reintroduce him to his former audience. I will always honor him and handle him honorably, even if I feel I haven't been. This is why I won't match the energy of him circulating a clip on Instagram from an interview he did on a platform that's disparaged me for years. I perceive that as intentional. He asked to mentor me. I prayed. I followed God in. I followed God out. That's it. I didn't leave because of a vote. That's a distraction. I left in excruciating, painful obedience. I didn't know he would do anything this low vibrational and petty and injure the work I've done online around him and his brand. This 5-year chapter is closed and my love and honor is intact, although I am disappointed in him starting what you guys now have to see online between two prophets you admire. I'm praying. The voiceover on this video is from a portion of my public letter to my community on Patreon that's known since November 2024, but shocked by his actions. Real response based on what's circulating from my former mentor on IG. Okay, so Larry's caption is also filled with data. Okay, we also learned that it was not Larry who sought Bishop out for mentorship. Bishop is the one who sought Larry out to be mentored for one. Okay. Also, you guys know that despite Bishop Bernard Jordan pretty much saying that from his perspective, it seemed that the straw that broke the camel's back was this perceived support of Trump and who he personally voted for politically. Okay. He gave an entire dissertation about why he thought his vote should be sacred, etc. You guys know I personally disagree with the Arch, considering that he's a public servant, he's a public figure. His work is in people, his work is faith-based. I personally think his vote should be public and that he should divulge who he voted for, because I think transparency matters when it comes to people in power and in leadership. I think discretion is something that should be afforded to everyday common folk, okay? But not necessarily to our trusted public servants and public figures, because there needs to be check and balances on rather the people that we love and we trust with our faith, we trust intellectually, we trust spiritually, we trust with our minds, if their actions are also in coordination with what they preach, what they teach, the ethics they uphold. But that is something that is arguable, right? So I'm not going to push the issue there. Archbishop feels differently about that. He chooses to feel that, his vote, should remain between him, the Lord, and the damn booth. Okay? Also, so Larry is in response saying that, well, despite Bishop making the breakdown about just that thing, that it is not solely about that, even if that is a conversation that has come up between him and Bishop. This is also Larry's voice note along with that caption. You guys, check this out. Dr. Larry Reid.
God feels traumatic to them. The ego has been injured.
Hold on, let me restart this.
Your obedience to God feels traumatic to them. The ego has been injured, control breached, and their plans for you have been spoiled. That's not your burden. That's their bruised illusion of control. Their dream for you has been shattered. What's being said publicly by my former mentor is not my narrative. To me, it is an emotionally manipulative performance. I will not respond with all of the messy details publicly. I did not leave because of how he voted. That's been misrepresented. However, I was disappointed. I don't need permission to shift when God speaks to me. I'm no longer governed by traditions that treat spiritual leaders like property. My peace is intact. I've processed the loss. My covering is God, and my parents advise when I need them. Completion of this assignment was not betrayal. I followed God into the mentorship, and I followed his voice out. My obedience is not rebellion. Those of you that have been ridiculed, criticized, abused because you made a decision to follow what God told you to do, and the organized religious institution made it wrong. I want to encourage you to follow God, listen to his spirit, do what he says, even if it's painful, and never dishonor from where you come, as you saw me honor my former mentor and his entire family on May the 18th. For more on the matter, you will have to be a patron. And if you haven't joined my Patreon community prior to now, I don't want you to join it to read the letter. All right, take care.
Try this capitalism. Y'all better join Dr. Reid's Patreon to go be nosy as hell, okay? There's a price to come, Mr. T, honey. Okay? Now, Dr. Reid with this damn The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless soundtrack. My God, today. Now, you guys know, I've seen in the comment section someone say, well, Dr. Reid made it seem like he did leave because of how he voted on his live. Here's the thing. Dr. Reid isn't saying the Trump thing wasn't a thing, but it wasn't the thing. And I'm going to go on record and say, as somebody who has been in personal community with Dr. Larry Reid, that the Trump thing definitely is not the thing. Now, it was more than likely the straw that broke the camel's back. But you guys know A breakdown is never, ever solely over one single thing. There definitely are other elements that created a snowball that eventually became large enough to manifest disassociation. Now, here's the thing. Despite both of these men coming forward, and despite both of these men speaking publicly on each other, relative to how a lot of other things have played out throughout the years on social media, this is actually a really classy public addressing on both of their behalves, okay? Compared to what we used to seeing between people where there's breakdown and breakout, this is relatively on both of their sides a rather grown PSA. I'm not saying the PSAs on either side are completely perfect and not sprinkled possibly with a little bit of shade, etc. But comparatively speaking to a lot of the public breakdowns we have endured over the past 10 years on social media, this is a rather mild, easygoing PSA. I also want to make mention of this. I know a lot of times when people fall out, we're used to people throwing all type of damn heat-seeking missiles in that person's direction. We're used to people going for the gusto, being lowbrow, telling every salacious detail that they possibly can in order to cause explicit injury to the other party. And that's okay to do, I realize, when it's a matter of public safety and public concern. But when people are falling away for matters that are more private and more personal, going about things that way is completely and utterly tacky. It's reckless, it's dishonorable, and it's egotistical. Because a lot of people go hard and go nuclear over things that literally have to do with A and B, not C, D, E, F, and G. So while there are people who want the grueling details, they want the punch, they want the grit, they want the ugly stank pot of the breakdown. That's not necessary in private separation over issues that were personal, issues that were more intimate, issues that had to do with maybe a difference of thought, a difference of attitude, growing apart, a different worldview. No, so it's not necessary to get out here and just rip it down and burn the house down and tear it up. Even when it comes to betrayal, betrayal is not even necessarily a reason to go and tear the house down. It may be a reason to fall the hell back. It may be a reason to call off the situation. But even that per se is not a matter of public concern. Okay, so I have finally found my own personal balance in even the people that go nuclear. I think going nuclear is appropriate when it is a matter of public safety and public concern. If it actually does involve, the well-being of the public, then yes, you should open up the library door. But if the issues and if the individual is not necessarily a danger to the public, they might have just been a danger to you personally. It's not necessary to go and do that in that way. So shout out to both of these men for keeping it as easy as breezy can go. But definitely Larry is honoring Bishop by not disclosing everything that he could disclose that would cause injury to Bishop Bernard Jordan. So that's the honorable thing. And that's the way to honor someone, is by not going there, and then there. Okay? Saying goodbye in love, saying goodbye in cuteness, and not being ugly as hell on the way out of the damn door. Okay? Now, I understand some of this ain't gonna be enough for y'all. Okay? I'm seeing in the comment section, y'all don't like Carlton, y'all don't like Larry, y'all don't like Bishop, y'all think they all full of shit. Okay, all right, well, that's all fine and dandy, child. Okay, what's going on? The Black Anarchist Podcast, who says people are too emotionally invested in these elections. I don't care anymore, but none of these really represent the American people. Okay? Do the right thing, says I can respect him for keeping it on both sides. I think they're keeping it cute. You know, we all know when it comes to personal relationships, people can say a lot more than what they choose to say. Okay? And to be honest, I got drama fatigue. I am exhausted with the whole burn the house down, burn the house down, burn the house down, burn the house out. I want to see some different shit. Okay? I want to see some gentleman ass shit. Okay, I want to see some emotionally intelligent approaches to adversity. I'm sick of feeling like I'm in a damn action-packed movie every damn 24 hours. I'm tired, okay, personally. So I appreciate people trying to keep it cute, even if they get a little zigzag in trying to keep it cute, but the intent nonetheless is there, even if the execution is a little raggedy. I appreciate the classiness of it all and the attempt, honey, to keep it all together. What's going on, David Fennell? I was just talking about your ass the other day. Nice to see you over here. David Fennell says, I know Apostle Reid. He will never tell what he know and will even lie that there's nothing to tell until or unless he has to, right? Because there's no one universal way to handle a situation. Dr. Reid knows when it's a time and a place and a circumstance that will cause for grenades, and then when the situation doesn't call for that. And the Archbishop seems to know the same thing. When there's a time to go nuclear and when it's time to just be lightly transparent and to just address some things on a light and transparent front as possible. What's going on, St. James? Did I speak to St. James in the chat? Hey, boo. Okay. Trey says, honorable can just be the safest decision, especially when both parties know each other's real tea. And it could also just be the best decision because that's just what maturity is. It's not always this real tea. I mean, even if there's real tea, right? Like, if you fall out with your brother, you know, for whatever reason, or your sister or your parents for whatever reason, do you need to get your ass up here on the internet and drag your mammy and drag your siblings because they done did some F-ish? No. People keep integrity and honor on bad situations every single day. I don't know why y'all think that public figures have some responsibility to go nuclear in their breakdowns. A lot of y'all sitting in ratchet families, traumatized ass families, got no good ass parents, no good ass siblings, no good ass friends, and y'all ain't doing no damn Netflix expose on none of them damn folks. I don't know why y'all be thinking we got to always go nuclear when it's trouble in paradise. I don't know why we got to give y'all a National Geographic layout of the play out. I don't know why y'all be just thinking that public figures just always got to go there. No. Just like in real life, it's shit you ain't saying about you can say it about. So on social media life, you choose to keep that same energy. Everything is about a context. What's going on, Judge Shady? Hey, boo. Hey, rumors. Because I'm sick of it, y'all. I'm sick of it. I want to see some classy PSAs. I want to see people deal with shit in an emotional, intelligent way. I'm ready to be impressed, okay? I'm sick of the explosive ass shit, okay? I'm personally sick of it. I'm exhausted. I can't do it no more, okay? Let me scroll on up. Told y'all we wasn't going to be here for a long time, but a good time, child. Charlene says, I love both men, but I have known Archbishop since I was a teenager, and my pastor was one of his mentors, Bishop Wilbert McKinley. Okay, Charlene. Okay, so Charlene is connected to a little bit of everybody in the circle, honey, and her and the Arch go way back. Way back. Okay, Todd says, but yes, I agree. Sometimes you got to call out the nonsensical BS. How are you voting in a reality that harms up, but out here spreading the gospel that's contrary? That's neat. Yeah, I feel the same way, but I do understand we're talking about something that's arguable. There's no absolute, right? That's just our personal philosophical approach, and Bishop got his. But I do agree that baby, I need to know, because baby, I want to know if you live in that way, since you want to be a shining example. You can't have no hidden parts, baby. When you want to position yourself as a leader and somebody who is to be trusted, baby, transparency, girl. Okay, open up your soul. I just don't feel like a public servant and a teacher and a leader and a person in power should have that type of discretion. Everyday people, sure, but not people of great reach and influence. No. The Kamala Harris was throwing black people in prison to be used for slave labor. You know what? Y'all, let Kamala and her blowout, okay? Let her and her blowout rest, okay? Everyone that watched Apostle Reid knows that Jordan guy is ignoring why Apostle said he left. He said God, and then mentioned secondly Trump. I think there's other things we will never know. Maybe not and maybe so. Who knows, child? Hopefully both men can keep it leveled and they can keep it chill. And maybe at some point in time, there could even be a conversation that can just really, where they can come to common ground, even if they're never going to be in quote unquote relationship again. Okay, Auntie Trisha says, let this be a cautionary tale for all when a relationship is over. Naive. Jennifer says, I know Jordan from when his ministry was on TBN and from Web Run show. I was surprised that he linked up with Larry's, okay, our secular bald-headed man in Christ. Child. Well, they're both prophets, so I guess it not really outside the box. They both are pastors. So, they're running in the same circle. And then, Carlton and Larry, had a relationship. You guys know that Carlton and Bishop have a relationship. So, just really goes to show how small the world is. And sometimes opposites do attract. I agree with you, CTV. To be honest, I am sick of all of the Larry expos, and not just the Larry. I'm sick just in general of the exposés. It's too action packed right now. It's Shannon Sharp being sued, Fat Joe being sued, Fat Joe suing who the hell suing him, Jay-Z suing, Jay-Z being sued. It's just too. It's too much information. I'm kind of overstimulated. It's too much, and I don't. And at the end of the day, here's the whole gag. After all this goes down, right? After all this shit goes up, everybody still be in a respected positions. Ain't nobody canceled. Ain't nobody in jail. Ain't nobody left with a zero audience. So when you really think about what is really the point when people just be going completely ape-ish on each other? What's really the goal? because it hardly ever, rarely results in a person being utterly destroyed. Rarely. So, you know, the fact that all you're going to accomplish at most is getting your shit off, baby, you can go sit down with your bestie and accomplish that. You can go sit down with a therapist, hell, in Bernard Jordan's case, and handle that. Because that's going to be really the only result after you do 15 damn pops on a person. After you do a whole damn miniseries, child, all that's going to be left is that person still going to be rich, still going to have an audience, and you either still or still not ain't going to be mad as hell. Baby, so for all that, you might as well should have just had a long conversation with your grandma and let her rub your back and tell your sorry ass that everything going to be all right. Everything going to be all right. Okay? So, I got to get out of here, Greer. I just came to y'all to give y'all the 1-2 to let y'all know that Dr. Reid responded to Bishop's interview. You guys check that out on Larry Reid Live's Instagram page. We got some hot topics to get into later. I will see you guys in the latter. If you guys once again enjoyed yourself, you already know what to do. Okay? Shout out, thumbs up, subscribe, share, the whole nine. Show some love because the king is motherfucking working on this Monday. Okay? I'll see you guys later. Peace.